Welcome to Banter at the Bedside. Before we dive into our episodes ahead, we wanted to start with the why. Why we're here, what our goals are, and what kind of community we're trying to build. Gandhi once said, honest disagreement is often a good sign of progress. And that simple truth holds the essence of this podcast. If you've spent any time in healthcare, you know disagreement is a part of our daily life. Physicians, APPs, nurses, we often don't see things the same way. And we're not really supposed to. Sometimes those differences spark tension. Sometimes they spark innovation. And if you've been online lately, you've probably seen it too. Professionals from every corner of medicine sharing their perspectives, often passionately, sometimes bluntly. This podcast is about leaning into that space. It's about creating room for healthy disagreement, because disagreement's okay. We aim to engage with diverse perspectives, challenge assumptions, and share viewpoints, even when they don't align, because disagreement doesn't have to divide us. It can just push us forward. Now, here's what that means for you. You may not always agree with us. You may not always like what we say. Sometimes you'll side with one of us and not the other. Sometimes you may feel like we've completely missed the point, and that's okay. Actually, it's more than okay. That's what we're here for. That's the conversation we're inviting you into. We want to hear from you, to grow alongside you, and possibly even bring you in as a part of the conversation. Just make sure we're all being respectful about it in the comments. Even among ourselves as hosts, we don't agree on everything, and it's already made us stronger. We've already had disagreements in filming these podcasts. We've wrestled through them and found new ways of understanding each other. Progress doesn't come from sameness. It comes from tension, curiosity, and respect. Our host lineup may change over time. There's going to be a core group of us that you'll see the most. But one thing will remain consistent. We are always going to strive to have a physician, an APP, and a nurse at the table, because that balance matters. It reflects the reality of our healthcare world and the many lenses through which we see our work. As we grow, we are hoping to welcome other regular voices. So if this resonates with you, if our mission resonates with you, consider this an open invitation. To give you more of a sense of what's said, we've organized our conversations into a couple reoccurring themes that I wanted to break down for you. The first is going to be debriefs. These are going to be conversations where we're going to unpack anything from the state of healthcare to code stories to funny bedside stories. We're going to talk about real challenges and lessons that we've learned and challenge each other's views of situations that we experience, because most of us actually work together. The next is probably my favorite, and that's the real versus real, the reels of the film versus our real life, where we take what's trending online and compare it to what's actually happening on the ground. What are those conversations in the workplace actually like, and not just a TikTok video? We do have an education session, and these are going to likely be quick, practical discussions that offer you some insight. And finally is our spotlights, or our consults and callings. This is going to be the one exception to our rule of having a voice of every lens, and that's because these are really to highlight individuals, provide some perspectives of different areas of healthcare that you might not have known, or untraditional paths in healthcare and how you might be able to take them. So consider this our warm welcome, whether you are going to be tuning in during your commute, catching us on a break, or listening after a long shift. Know that you're not just an audience member. You're a part of this conversation and this community that we are trying to build together. And with all of that said, let me introduce myself. I'm Abby, and you're probably going to hear from me the most consistently. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I've been practicing as a nurse practitioner about 7 years. My journey started much earlier, but we'll get to that in my spotlight episode. I've worked as a nursing assistant all the way up to nurse practitioner. And really, my hope for this community is to build a safe place where all healthcare workers feel welcome, a place where we can all learn from one another, grow together, have some laughs, and have some disagreements along the way to help us all move forward. So I'm happy to introduce our next shift talker, and that is Kaitlyn.
Hey, I'm Kaylee. I work in cardiac ICU. I've been there for 15 years and I've been a nurse for 17 years. And when Abby first approached me with the idea for the podcast, I thought it was great. You know, besides just talking with friends and coworkers or debriefing about the day or complaining, I don't really talk about my job as a nurse or healthcare outside of work. It's just not one of those things that I like to focus on. So I felt like it was a really good idea and a way to sort of talk about it in a different with a different perspective and maybe have sort of a renewing passion for the job or getting other people's perspectives. Like Abby said, I think that disagreements are healthy and we complain a lot, but I think hearing from other people and reading comments, having different posts here, the real versus reels, it just brings up a lot of good conversation. So I'm excited.
Thanks. We're excited to have you here to yap away. Next up, we're going to invite our main physician, Haas.
Hi, everybody. I'm Haas. I'm a pulmonary critical care physician by specialty. Got onto this pod because, Abby and I have always talked when we've been on service together about what else that we could do. And my life has entailed different stories that I always felt like if they were captured on a clip, it could be either a great movie or a docuseries. And since she quoted Gandhi, I would like to quote something as to why I think that this show is going to be fun for everyone. So there was a old Persian Empire model where if there was a discussion piece, they would discuss about it while they were sober and while they were drunk. And if they came to the same agreement in both states of mind, then it was a good idea. This is kind of the drunk version of what we do every single day, in my opinion. So you can see like the realness of the people that you see through the hospital corridors and inside of the units. So I'd like to welcome everybody, and I hope that you understand that we are regular, real people, and you get to see a side of us that's a bit more fun and interesting. I've been in medicine now for over a decade practicing, and I think every year brings on new challenges, and I'm glad to have you guys on for this ride.
I love that. That's fun. I want to discuss things drunk
Sober, right? If it's a good
and
idea in both,
sober.
then it's a good idea. Yeah,
Well, because drunk thoughts are drunk words are sober thoughts.
that's right.
Is what I used to
That's
say.
right. That's right.
Do you remember when you first Haas did say like he wanted to do a podcast, and do you remember the first thing out of my mouth when you brought it up?
I don't know. We've said so many things.
The first when you were like, I want to start a podcast, I was like, no more men in this world need
That's right. Fair
microphones.
enough. Fair
And
enough.
he was like, ouch. I was
Yeah,
like,
fair enough.
sorry.
Fair enough. I thought I was going to be the next Rogan, but yeah, fair enough.
Hmm. All
Thank you,
right.
Abby.
And then our final core shift talker is Kaitlyn.
Hi, I'm Kaitlyn. I've been in the cardiac ICU for 2 years as a nurse. Been a nurse for four in total. Abby asked me to be on the podcast just strictly as a personality hire. My that's the only reason I'm here. Provide no educational content. I'm just here um, because life happens, and I guess I have a good way of wording it. Um, but I'm excited to get all the different um kind of views because we have one way we view it and sometimes the way physicians or APPs view it. And I think it'll be good to get pharmacy and lab and all those people involved so we can talk and not hate each other at baseline.
Yeah, that is the goal, to not hate each other at baseline. We can get pharmacy and the nurses together to discuss checking the tube station.
Yeah, when I've specifically said I've checked the drawer, the refrigerator, and the tube station, you don't have to ask if I've checked the drawer.
For the love of God, please send it.
This is the community we're hoping to build. Laughs, honesty. Again, we are all aiming to be respectful. If we say something that you feel doesn't share your perspective, we please ask you, share it in the comments. We have an email that you'll see, and we are actively building a website so that we can hopefully have a community that constantly is interacting with each other and helping each other grow. That's all that I have for the first episode. Does anyone else have anything they want to add?
I kind of like the breakdowns, the debriefs, the real
Yeah.
versus real, all those
Mhm.
scenarios. I think
Mm-hmm.
I remember my last debrief. Actually, the only one I had is when I pseudo raised my voice to like a real debrief inside of the
Yeah.
unit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I was being ridiculous that day, but
I
there was
was
no
there.
yeah,
You
there
were.
was no
You
chest
did.
tubes left on the unit.
Yeah. And then you were like,
And
work on getting it quicker.
I was like, maybe a little faster. That did not go well.
But it didn't. I would.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Me and her are very close in general. We hugged it out afterwards, obviously, but and then that debrief we had with the nurses, I thought was a lot of fun, Abby. I think we could do a full episode on that,
On
especially
that
with
debrief,
especially with AFib and anticoagulation that had
yeah,
nothing to do.
where I think you learned in that debrief what a debrief actually is.
Correct. I had actually no idea. I felt like it was a roasting. So
You hijacked it.
sure.
You started talking about AFib, and then after 20 minutes, I was like, okay, so let's talk about the code.
Typical guy.
Yeah.
Useless. I'm aware.
I'm aware. We'll
Wait, you're talking
continue.
about you guys were debriefing after a code and you started
Mhm.
doing a lesson?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was upset about why the patient landed there. And it's like I say this all the time. And the thing is like I should have, looked at my situational awareness, like what unit I was speaking about this in.
Yes.
And it's like it's like a topic that I have high feelings about, but had nothing to do with what was happening on the debrief for the code, but it was an opportunity. Seize the opportunities.
Yep. He hijacked it. I organized the debrief, paid for the pizza for the debrief, and then Haas came in and just started talking.
I
Tell you
don't
the truth,
Imagine
debrief
that.
anymore.
I had no idea what a
I
debrief
like
was.
debriefs are actually really good. We used to do them more. And I think it's really, really helpful actually.
Yeah.
How have codes been at nighttime in the CICU? I haven't worked a shift in nights there in like months. I think I come on this week, but how have the codes been there at night?
You'll see.
Oh, really? Is it like that? Yeah.
I think they've been better.
Yeah.
They have grown.
The last few times that I've had some, it's like, you're trying to herd cats, but like everybody wants to help. And that's why I always tell everybody, I'm so glad that everybody wants to be in here helping, but like, we got to have some defined roles and we need people in the pods. And I've been trying to talk to the nurses more about that. And I think that it's been, the last few have been better. So
It's not their fault
maybe,
either.
no,
It's this lack of mega codes.
correct. They've never
Oh,
been to the
God.
mega code classes. And I used to teach that.
But
And
why? We run a sim every month for that. The fellows do a rotation there.
Not
Yeah.
us.
not the nurses,
Hmm.
they do the mannequin.
Yeah,
Oh.
we
That's
do
it.
RQI, but we don't do a mega code. I remember
Would you like to come
when
to Mega Code? Look at that.
some people need.
Yeah.
I mean, some people need to because they just don't get to experience it. I mean, one of my orientees was like, "I've been here 6 weeks and I haven't been to a code yet." And I thought, "But yeah, people die every day, and you haven't been to a code yet." I get and downstairs, they would like fake a staff assist, and we'd all go run in there, and it was a mannequin.
I mean, we
But
can
then
do
you'd have to
them.
run it like you needed. I mean, you had to run it like they're like, no, this is a real patient. And you had to like crack open their chest and do all this other stuff. And then they're yelling. They're like, you've killed them. You know, it's great. It's fun.
I think
There's a lot of trauma that built that.
the thing with the mega code, though, that made it helpful was because everyone has to run it. Everyone has to do every role.
Mm-hmm.
And that, when
Mm-hmm.
you're doing ACLS and a mega code, and it's like, okay, this time I'm running it. Now I'm on meds. Now I'm doing chest compressions. Now I'm doing breaths.
Mm-hmm.
And you're running it 5 times in a row, and then you get to kind of step into each role.
Mm-hmm.
It helps because that, as a nurse, like as a provider, we have one role really is to run it and procedures, but you're not supposed to do both, right? But as a nurse, they're chest compressions, they're managing airway, they're giving meds, they're running the defibrillator, they are running the code until we get there. They have to know every role. And so that's why, like, to me, you need to do the mega code. You need to do it over and over and over and over again.
Mhm.
So we run it once a month, and we also do a skills day, 2 days, usually once every quarter from the MICU side that we have set up. Maybe we should. This just sounds like a great little project that we can do to make sure that whoever wants to come to this can do it.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think trying to, like, when you work with the certain people over and over again, you kinda know who tends to do what in
Mhm.
codes, and,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's certain things that nobody wants to do, and, like, if
Mm-hmm.
you're in charge, like, when I'm in charge, I try to get, like, I know you don't wanna record. Come over here, Imma help you do it, and you're gonna learn
Mm-hmm.
so that you're comfortable so that everybody can do every role confidently and feel good about it, so
I loved recording. I loved being able
me
to yell.
too.
I love being like, "Epi's due!" Like,
Yeah,
Hate.
it's time.
it's
Me too, and I don't wanna do chest compressions.
No, I'm
I
too
don't mind
top
that.
heavy for chest compressions, okay?
I just like
Oh,
pushing the
what a
shock button. That's my
terrible
favorite.
problem to have.
It is, okay? It is.
Must be nice.
So, that's it. We'll have more debriefs about codes just like this for you to experience.
Oh, we're keeping all that? Okay, great.
Why not?
I thought it was on the cuff. That was wicked.
Yeah.
Uh,
What to
All right.
expect, just rabbit holes.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us in our first episode, and look for our other episodes coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.